Logan Crawford, and right now on the Global Book Network, we're soaring through a real life adventure that captured hearts around the globe. The name of the book, Flaco's Journey, it's written by a terrific author. Her name is Kathleen Conklin, and she has penned a beautifully illustrated children's book inspired by a true story of a Central Park Zoo owl whose escape became a symbol of resilience, freedom, and hope. This heartwarming tale isn't just for kids. It's a powerful reminder for people of all ages that courage and compassion can take us to new heights. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her beautiful book. The links are below this interview. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great, even better now that you're joining me. This
Thank
book
you.
is sensational. It's a chapter in New York City history that I'd kind of forgotten about, and this book is a great reminder. Let's start out by telling the folks at home the true story about Flaco.
Okay, so one of the reasons I wrote the book was because there were a couple things that people don't know about Flaco and that I could create. But the actual story about Flaco is that he was brought to Central Park Zoo from a North Carolina sanctuary. Um, and I found out as I researched it was a for-profit sanctuary. And he was brought in February 2nd, 2010, and he stayed there for 13 years. And then the the news hit. Vandals. Can you see that all right, people?
An owl named Flaco is on the loose. Vandals are to blame.
Yes. So that hit the presses, and that started his ability to learn to fly and learn to hunt around New York. And he did that for a long time. He became very famous with bird watchers and other people. They thought of him as a mascot. There was some concern when he first got out that he would not be able to learn to fly and hunt again, but he did. Um, and he died 13 months later. But
Amazing.
it's a great story.
Amazing that he was 13 years at the Central Park Zoo. That's hard to believe. That's like a jail sentence, 13 years hard time.
Yeah, because
And
they grow to a 6.5 foot wingspan because it's not just Flaco the owl, it's Flaco the Eagle Owl. So
yeah,
they have very large wingspans.
what a
So
beautiful, beautiful bird he was.
yes,
And he
yes.
lasted 13 months, which is amazing considering he was in captivity for so long. So when did you just say to yourself, hey, this would be a great children's storybook?
Well, I didn't actually say it. So I'm retired. I taught second and third grade for many years, and I made friends with one of my teammates on the second grade team, and he is a wildlife and a bird watcher and an absolute brilliant photographer. And when he heard that Flacco had passed, he said, "Hey, Conklin, this would be a great story for you to write about." And I took him at his word, and I had a blast doing it. It was really fun.
I'm sure it was. Tell us about the illustrations. They're quite beautiful.
Yeah, so one of the other people that I was friends with at the school was the art teacher.
Hmm.
And we've already worked on other books, but we decided, that this one we spent extra time on. So she was not my illustrator, but she was my concept artist. So if I described a scene to her that I would want to go along with the words, she was able to put that into some kind of sketch. And when I did choose the illustrator, I went for the best. I mean, I am absolutely floored by Kevin Richter's ability. He is he retired from a job at the London Sun. He lives in the UK, has a couple of sons, and he now illustrates children's books for a living.
Wow.
And yeah, and he just did such a good job with this book. Some of the reviews I've got off of Amazon is that, you know, the pictures are incredible. The animation in the pictures, he draws as if somebody just stopped for a minute and then started again. So he's got that movement in his sketches. I really like
It's
it.
great. That's wonderful. Well, the text that goes along with those sketches is terrific as well. Tell the folks at home a little bit about how you crafted the story in terms that children would enjoy, understand, and learn from.
Yes. So being a teacher in an elementary school, a lot of your lessons have to do with reading a picture book to the class and then talking about the themes that you see in it. So what I tried to do is come up with several themes that would be enjoyable for the kids to think about and talk about. And as you said before, it doesn't have to be a teacher, it could be a parent reading to their child. I was looking for somewhere between K through 5. And basically, I so there's 3 things in the book. There's Flacco coming from the sanctuary in North Carolina. Then there's his time in Central Park. And then there's his time that he's escaped. And basically, as far as what I could do to make the story palatable to children was, I told the story like it happened, and then I worked with some editors from Barnes& and Noble. They have a self-publishing arm called Readsy, and so I had them attack my script to get anything out of there that was inappropriate for children. So it was things like, when Flacco's captured with nets in North Carolina, I had blood running down the back of one of the
Like, no blood.
no
Children don't
blood,
like blood.
no, and, his ending, was tragic, and I couldn't go into that. Um, I didn't know if you wanted me to say that.
No,
What
you go ahead. You can tell the folks at home how he died. It's adult listeners here mostly, and it is very, very sad how he died, but you can share that.
Okay. Yeah, so once he, got out of the Central Park Zoo, everyone was worried whether or not he'd be able to fly and hunt again, and he would learn to fly again very quickly, but then hunting, he had so much prey out there. And knowing the New York City pretty well, there's a lot of rats in the city. So he was able to get food very quickly and sustain himself for 13 months. Unfortunately, after 13 months, he died from not only eating the rat poison that's in rats, but also he started to eat pigeons who had HIV. So none of that is in the book. Had to
Mm.
take that out. So I simply say in the book that he died. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But bird watchers and other sites were upset with me because they said I'm not telling the true story, and I said it's not right for kids.
Right,
Kids,
exactly. He did
yeah.
die, you just didn't get into it. I mean, the gory details always should be left out, I think. We get enough of that in the news. We don't need kids talking about, you know, birds eating rats who are tainted with rat poisoning and pigeons with HIV. So you made the right call. There's a critic for everything. You go online long enough and somebody will hate you for anything. So don't worry about that. We love you because you did a great job with this book. The story is terrific, and it's a great reminder to children about how precious and wonderful nature is. And there's more lessons in it as well. You actually kind of question the whole point of keeping beautiful birds like this in captivity, right? Talk to us about that.
Well, I compared it to I do have a nice cabin on a river in East Machias, Maine.
Mhm.
Very quiet. Birds are plentiful. And I had a neighbor, Roy, who is a character in the book, who owned the land where my camp is before me. And I used to go see him at 3:30 every day, with an adult beverage. And we would sit and talk about the wildlife in the area. And he taught me so much about birds and, which ones helped me identify birds. And he also helped me identify other wildlife. And he he was someone that was able to contrast what was going on in Central Park Zoo, because what we do as humans, we feel like we can go out and take any species out of its natural habitat and put it in a zoo so that people can look at it. Flacco was not in his natural habitat. In fact, he was in a cage that was too small for him to fly. So, on the other hand, Roy is someone who was able to watch birds in their natural habitat and derive so much pleasure out of it, and myself as well once I got to know him. But, so he is one of the places that I could use some creativity in the story because Nobody really knows how he got to North Carolina and, into New York City. Um, Everybody knows what it was like in New York City when he was there, but they don't have any idea who broke him out. And instead of it being vandals, I thought, how about some people that really care about animals and
Yeah.
want them to be in their natural habitat? And he gets very angry when he lets Flaco free with his friend, and it just put for me the challenge of how many do we need to run zoos the same way we did 50 years ago? Where's our right to take these animals out of their habitat and just put them there for our educational purposes? Because now we have drones, we have, wildlife cameras.
Watch videos. We can watch beautiful videos of an eagle owl instead and keep it in nature where it belongs. Central Park Zoo is an old school zoo. It's not like the Bronx Zoo that is expansive and would likely have room for that bird to fly. And it always was kind of like, not the best zoo in the world, the Central Park Zoo, that's for sure. Is this your first book? Has it sparked something in you? Or are you thinking about writing another one? Tell us a little bit about your writing career.
Um, I've been writing since I was 9. I always wanted to write stories, and I always kept a journal throughout my entire life. So holding on to those notebooks has been great for me. I find writing natural. I can create a voice fairly easily. And for this book, what I thought was different is that I created a voice for Flacco as well as the other characters. So I had to put myself in Flacco's head. Like, how did it feel for him when somebody took him from the sanctuary away from his mother? How did he feel in a truck coming up to Central Park? There's a picture in here. I was just gonna look for it. That shows what he looked like. I don't know if you can see it well.
Hold it up a little higher. Higher, please. Higher, please, still. Yep, I see it. Yep, in the little cage like a dog crate.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the huge buildings around him. He was scared.
yeah,
Then when he got
yeah.
in,
Yeah,
when
I
he
don't blame them. You would be scared, and it's a great adventure for children. I think they learn a lot about empathy and about appreciation of nature. And you've done a beautiful, beautiful job with this. Are you working on a follow-up book, or what's next in line for you?
well, I have a couple of books I've written before with that same art teacher helping me with the sketches, but I'm also working on some short stories that I've, had for a long time. But when, let's face it, if you're a teacher in today's society, you don't have time to do anything else. So now that I'm retired, I I have such a passion for writing that, I usually write from 4 to 6 every single day without people have to leave the house, they can't be around. So definitely a passion for writing, and I'm going to keep up with that. It makes me very happy.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know you're based in New England. There's lots of great nature and wildlife and trees and flora to inspire you. I'm sure your next story is going to be as wonderful as this one. The book we've been focusing on today is called Flaco's Journey. It is a charming and inspiring tale that reminds us all of the power of freedom, resilience, and compassion. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you, Logan. It was a pleasure.
True pleasure speaking with you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for GBN. So long for now.